Hi, everyone. Some of you are having trouble moving the outline to the paragraph format. So we're going to take a look at that and see if we can help you move that along just a little bit better. Now, remember with the outline, we're looking for that PEE format. So we're going to have a point or a claim, whichever you want to call that. We'll have evidence that backs that up, and then we'll have our explanation to cap each of those paragraphs off. All the paragraphs will be the same in the body paragraphs. So each one needs to follow this exact format to get you through the entire essay. Let's say, for example, that your first point is that Michael was a recluse. Now, you're going to need evidence to prove that. And so once you begin searching for your evidence and you start to pull that over, put that right up under your main point. Now, you're going to need a lot of evidence. This is a 2 to 3 page essay. If this is your only point, you'll have a lot of evidence. You may have 2 or 3 main points that you're going to make. So 2 or 3 characteristics, and that's fine. Some people will work with only one. In fact, this one is on Michael Jackson. If I were doing Michael Jackson, I would probably prove that he was a successful artist or a songwriter because he started performing at the age of 3 or 4, I believe. And he went through performances throughout his entire life. So you could probably get 2 to 3 pages on that. However, if you're doing someone more obscure, maybe you're doing Charles Taylor, the pilot for the Bermuda Triangle, and there is not as much evidence, you may have 2 or 3 different traits to get you to prove the 2 or 3 pages there that are needed for that to prove those traits. So you decide how many traits you're going to need. If you have 2 or 3 and you're still short, keep going. Okay. So first off, you're going to move this point down so that it becomes a sentence. It's going to be a topic sentence. So there it is. Michael Jackson was a recluse late in his life. That's our main point. That's what the entire paragraph is about. That's the only thing we're going to prove. The first point here, and let's just take a look because I see that there's a works cited and there are 3 citations. And I see on the outline that the person did put their information at the end here of the sentence, their evidence sentences or points or evidence pieces. And that's fine. Some people will number those. Some people will go ahead and do it like this. You only have 2 choices for citation. It's going to be either the author's last name or a title. No other options. So I know that either the author's last name goes there or the title goes there. That's my only options. Uh, if I wanted to build the complete in-text citation, I could add the page number. That's just a scrolling page. I believe this one might have, whatever page numbers would go there. And there may be more page numbers than that. Again, that's might be a scrolling web page or something. Usually, I don't see any links here, and if you do have that web page, it would have the link at the end. So, uh, I don't know about this. But anyway, those are your only options for the citations, which makes it very easy. So people work in different ways setting up their citations with the outline. Some people will just number those. Some people will put them in. Uh, it makes it easier for me to do it this way, so that's the way I will do it. Now, the next piece that we're going to work with is the evidence here. Okay, so evidence, and I'll just highlight that maybe. Oh, will it let me highlight? Yeah, it'll let me highlight. Let's do a different color with that. So, oh, well, I did that wrong. Let's try that again. There we go. Let's see if it'll take me all the way back. Yes. Now, if I do this evidence piece, here's my first evidence piece. Sorry about that, y'all. Here's my second evidence piece. And here's my third one right here. No, I just have, oh, here it is right here. Okay, so there are 3 evidence pieces. I'm going to move the first one down, reputation as a recluse. When Michael Jackson was in his was in his late 30s, he started to develop a reputation as an eccentric recluse. Now, I know there will be a citation there because unless you were there to hear that exchange and you were part of that reputation conversation, there will be a citation. You're referring me back. He started to develop a reputation. Where's that come from? Where's the evidence for that? So I have to have that. He rarely performed anymore and did not get out and meet people or friends. My evidence says he did not perform or get out. Here's my sentence that backs that up. Again, I'm going to have a citation for that. Okay. He moved into a huge 2,700-acre ranch called Neverland, which was secluded and out in the middle of nowhere in a heavy populated area in California. All right. Now, unless you knew that offhand, and this person did not, the citation goes there. On his land, he had an amusement park, and he lived there isolated with his kids and staff. Again, I'll need a citation. Lots of citations in this one. That's okay, because it's not my work. It's not my words. I had to look it all up. Now, if I knew this off the top of my head and had followed the case closely, I might not need as many citations. However, I will say that in other courses, numbers, statistics, etc., are red flags. So even if you knew it and you think the professor might think you didn't know it and it hits on the plagiarism citation uh, detector, I would put the citation for the numbers or stats unless uh, you're told otherwise. Then what's going, and this one here, see, I have a sentence coming from that neighbor. Now, the next sentence is coming from the same source. So my citation will be only the page number. Remember that your citations are part of your sentences, so periods go after. Now, you've got this recap at the end of every body paragraph, unless you're sending me on with that same piece. Now, this is going to come right back to your topic sentence. It should wrap right back around so that it feels finished. I don't want to use the word recluse again, so if I highlight that word, I can see the synonyms for that, and it will change that for me. So that's the way I would do it. If I had a word and I didn't want to come back, and it's okay, you could come back with the word recluse here, I guess, if you want it. That would wrap it back around. A lot of professors don't like that. Want that other word in there. But see how these two tie together? Your topic sentence and your end sentence should tie together. Makes it feel wrapped up as if you were watching a news piece of the news on a news program, and they make that story feel wrapped up at the very end. Feels all wrapped up with bow on top there. Now, this reads well, looks great, but it won't score well. And you're thinking, well, what's wrong with it? It has no citations. This is just regurgitated information from research. You're just telling me information here. That's not what an academic research essay is. It must have citations to prove the claims. So I'm going to go back. The research is already here. Go back to your research. Make it the direct quotes. Okay. I could put it right here. Maybe the person said he was an eccentric recluse. Okay. He rarely performed anymore and did not get out and meet people and friends. And um, maybe here I want a real direct quote rather than that sum up. Um, maybe I want to come after it. I'm going to need that. Let's see. The author for this was just the University Press, so it's just an article, maybe. Um, the article states, comma, Michael hid out in his huge bedroom. Okay, and again, that would be the page number. Same source, back to back, no breaks. Now, once I change paragraphs, my citations will start all over again. Okay. So now I've got a citation. The direct quote and the citation prove that that information is true. He moved into a huge 2,700-acre ranch called Neverland. Now, I know that he lived at Neverland. I had no idea how big it was. So I definitely want to put those citations in. And I also didn't know that it was out in the middle of nowhere in a heavy populated area of California. Okay. On his land, he had an amusement park, and he lived there isolated with his kids and staff. Now, a lot of people know that he had his own amusement park. That's probably no shock, but he lived there isolated with his kids and staff. That had to come from inside the house, people saying that. So I would put the citation there. Okay. Um, not going to put any direct quote there. You don't have to have a direct quote for each of these pieces of evidence. In fact, it's a fairly short paragraph. Remember that paragraphs are 5 to 7 sentences. Okay, I'll put that up here. I would say don't go over 10. You lose the reader. And think about it. This is nice and chunked. I get through it. I understand the main point. I can remember it. The longer it goes, eh, the more development there is with that, the more likely you have errors, and the more likely you are to lose your reader. So keep them short, keep them simple, move me on. Now, again, you want to make sure that your citations match exactly. If it says Bradford here, it's going to say Bradford up here. Okay. So look at your citations. Just put those in color and you can kind of see how those work. Okay. If it says neighbor here, it will be neighbor above. If I have the entire title here, it will be the title here. Okay. Those need to match up perfectly. No errors at all. Okay. It's really the format that and the way it's set up that makes it the academic essay. So again, you must have the direct quotes in all your body paragraphs. Otherwise, it's just regurgitated information you're telling me, and it's not an academic research essay. Okay. Now, whatever your next trait would be, if you had another one, you would do the same process. So maybe your next point is Michael had many hit records. Okay. This is an easy one. I could start with when he was little. Okay, when he was 4 years old. I don't have to look that up. I know this. Uh, he had a hit with his brothers and sisters. Now, I would need to look up any more in-depth information. I don't know which one. I don't know the titles. I don't know the brothers and sisters' names, all of them that were in the group. But I've got to start. And again, he started recording at about 3 or 4 years old, all the way to up when he died. I can get many paragraphs out of that. But I know that my explanation, however many paragraphs I might have, just one or however many, I know that my explanation is going to come back and tie back to my main topic sentence. So Michael had, maybe here I want to be specific. Michael had, I don't know the real numbers, y'all, 34 gold records and 100 hit singles. Does that prove is it the same? You just want that same information in. Or Michael had many hit records. Michael had, what could we say there? Michael had Many award winning and popular albums and songs. Same thing as many hit records. Popular album. There we go. I didn't say anything about songs in the topic sentence. Maybe I could add that, and then I could add it in the bottom. Now I can add it here. Those need to match perfectly. Okay. And again, my evidence, I must have a direct quote. Doesn't have to be with the first one. Could be with the second one. Okay. Michael wrote many hit songs that won awards. Said record producer Don Was. And I would need a cite there. Okay, maybe that's coming from Smith 3. I don't. Okay, but you get the point on that. All right. So, and then I would be able to bring that information down and start my paragraph. Or you could just simply take away this right here. And there's your paragraph format set up. You're going to have to fix your sentences a little bit, but again, you're on the right track. Lots of evidence on that one. I could keep going forever and ever and ever, but it's that simple. Remember that all quotes have to have some kind of signal phrase or tied to a sentence. I could put my signal phrase here. Don Was, and that was really his name, record producer, said. Okay, if you don't like it at the end, it could go at the beginning. But I can't just have the quote as a sentence. Could tie it to this second one here, maybe. But that it's a kind of long sentence anyway. I don't like to tie those together when they're too long. You'll lose your reader. All right. If you have any questions or need any help, please let me know. Remember that every body paragraph needs a quote. Again, if you need help, reach out.